What's going on, everyone? So Mason Plumlee was a huge pickup for the Los Angeles Clippers, and something that the Clippers really needed. Problem is, the Clippers are probably not going to be able to keep Mason Plumlee around for a new contract. He is a free agent, an unrestricted free agent, who is just coming off of a 3-year, $24.5 million deal. So his market is going to be kind of interesting, right? Because the new CBA really is going to hinder a lot of teams, and two teams in particular are the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors. So both of those teams are really going to have themselves in quite the predicament this offseason and very likely next offseason as well as they try to figure things out. And they went and traded for Mason Plumlee, and now this new CBA kicks in. They don't really have a way to sign him. I mean, could they? Yes. But it's almost not worth it, which means if they do, then they're kind of screwed, right? Like they really, I mean, they're already in that boat and in that position. And it almost makes more sense of like, hey, let's just do without him and keep the team that they have intact. They also have to figure out some other things, like what do they do with Russell Westbrook? What do they do with a couple other guys? So they're in just like a purgatory right now, which means Mason Plumlee very likely will be up for grabs. Given the fact that he's, 33 years old, is a backup, type of center in today's league. He's not some starting level guy. He's probably looking at like the 5 to 8 million range. He was just making 8 million a year. But now that he's 33, he probably is closer to either a vet minimum, maybe slightly above. And so with that being the case, I think that there is going to be a whole just slew of teams that are willing to bring on Mason Plumlee because he's physical, he does the dirty work, he's got good athleticism, he's got good bounce. He does a lot of the things that teams want and need from a backup center. Like he just really does. He's got good size, good physicality. He's 6'11", 254. This is a guy that, can give you 10 and 10 on a given night. He, for the Clippers, averaged 7.5 and 7 rebounds. So he's basically 8 and 7 for the Clippers in 20 minutes of play. This is a guy that shot 72%, 73% from the field goal range. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not going to spread the floor by any means. But he's a high engine, high motor, just quality type of role guy. He's the kind of guy that you want to be your backup center and just be that hustle guy. Be the guy that is going in and, doing the dirty work, doing the dirty plays, fighting, working hard, banging with guys. That's what they need. He also shoots the free throws pretty well. He's 78% for a center. That's really good. Again, he can give you 7 rebounds per game. He also is a solid passer. He's averaged 3 assists per game for his career. So he's a guy that moves the ball, shares the ball. He's averaged just about a block and a steal per game. So he plays both sides of the ball. This is a guy that I really think could provide some solid value for the Lakers, and a guy that I think if the Lakers have an opportunity to sign, I think you do it. Can you get him at a vet minimum? Because that's what you're looking at, right? You're looking at what guys can we get at a vet minimum deal that can come in and provide quality, maybe starting or even backup center minutes. Mason Plumlee, I think, does all that. He's a solid defender. He's not a great or elite defender by any means. He's 113.5 defensive rating. League average is 115. But he's still a 1.5 better than league average. So he's above average defender. He's got good size at 6'11", good athleticism. A guy that can, run the floor, which the Lakers love to run. One of the best teams in transition, one of the best transition teams in the league. So you get a guy in Mason Plumlee that can run the floor, that can rebound, that can defend, that can give you some shots, put you in the dunker spot. He can start. He can come off the bench. Him and Anthony Davis side by side, I actually think could work a lot and could work well. Mason Plumlee would be a very good acquisition, in my opinion. I think he'd be a very solid pickup, and something that I definitely think the Lakers should look into. Now, again, at 33 years old, how long are you signing him for? But if we could get him like 2 years, 5 million, or 2 years, 7 million, something like that. I think if you're the Lakers, you gotta make that happen. You gotta go because again, how many guys are better? Like, so I made a video talking about Andre Drummond and saying like Andre Drummond, which I would rather have Drummond over Plumlee. I would, just me personally. Some people might feel otherwise, but Drummond gives you a lot of the same things that Plumlee gives you, right? But Drummond is also younger. Here's the thing though, is that again, my whole point, and even to those that were, in the comment section and stuff that were like, no, absolutely not, don't want Drummond, don't want that. Like, my question was, okay, that's fine, you don't want him. Who's better at that position and at a vet minimum contract? Because that's what Andre Drummond is getting right now. And so you have to ask yourself the same thing about Mason Plumlee. Some of you might be listening to this video right now and going, let's stay away from Mason Plumlee. Not really feeling that guy. 33 years old. Like, again, who's better and at the price that we'd be able to get Mason Plumlee for, which is very likely a vet minimum? Name me one. That was the problem. That was the thing. Like, even in the comments with Andre Drummond, I was saying, like, who would be better at a vet minimum price that you could possibly get that's realistic? Again, realistic. Would Brook Lopez take a vet minimum? That would be brilliant. Okay, then forget everybody else. Go get Brook Lopez. But come on, again, realistic. Like, realism. Like, what can we realistically get for the money that we have to spend? Mason Plumlee, maybe Andre Drummond. But does he want to stay with the Bulls? Right? Again, Mason Plumlee may want to stay with the Clippers and still won't be able to stay with the Clippers. That's the difference. Andre Drummond, if he wants to stay with the Bulls probably keep him because they can keep him. And they may end up letting Nikola Vucevic go. And if that's the case, then Drummond might end up being their starting center. So, again, who would be better than Mason Plumlee at a vet minimum contract? I don't think there is anybody. I don't. Maybe, again, Drummond, as I mentioned earlier. But outside of that, I don't think there's anybody else that'll give you the energy, the hustle, the defense, the running. Yes, he can't really spread the floor, but not everybody needs to spread the floor, right? We are so fascinated by like 5 guys that can all shoot the 3 ball and all this and all that. And, and it just, not everybody can have that. Not everybody can have that luxury of having 5 guys that can all shoot the ball, right? So, I mean, most of the teams in the league don't have 5 guys that can shoot the ball. And so, if you can get a guy in Plumlee, again, you don't need him to shoot the ball, right? You need him to come in, go head to head and bang with the the Jokic's of the world. I almost said Vucevic again. The Nikola Jokic, the Jokers. You need him to bang with the Jokers of the world. You need him to bang with the Joel Embiid's of the world. You need him to be a hustle guy, get rebounds, give us second chance points, get putbacks, be a rim runner. You don't need everybody to shoot the 3 ball on your roster. It would be nice, but that's just unrealistic, and especially at a vet minimum. If he could do everything that he does already and shoot the 3 ball, there's no way you would get him at a vet minimum contract. So again, it's value versus productivity. Like, what can this player do, and is he worth more than a vet minimum contract? He is. But given his age, he's probably not going to get much more than that. Maybe he gets like a 1-year deal from somebody for like $8 million just to maybe clear the floor or something like that. But does he want to go to like a bottom feeding team, or does he want to go to a team that he can contend and play quality minutes and maybe even start? I mean, you could start him if you want, or you could bring him off the bench. Either way, it works. It just gives you a guy that can play 15 minutes a game and relieve Anthony Davis, do a lot of the same things that you need as far as like providing rebounding and running the full length of the court and being a hustle and getting out in transition and all that stuff, right? Like he can also pass the ball. He's a great passer. So it gives you a bit of playmaking. Guy that can run a two-man game. He can play alongside Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis' ability to stretch the floor a bit, although he needs to find his stroke from three again. I don't know what happened to that. But I think Mason Plumlee makes a world of sense for the Lakers at a vet minimum deal. I wanted him when the whole Hornets trade was going around. My like dream was like Plumlee, Terry Rozier, and PJ Washington. That's what I was really hoping Lakers could give up some picks and get that kind of thing, which were all real. I mean, obviously Plumlee, the Clippers got Plumlee for basically peanuts. And then, you know, Terry Rozier ended up not being traded, but now it looks like Charlotte might not have no choice but to trade him. And then you're going to have, PJ Washington. They got to figure out, are they going to pay him? So that's why I was like, oh, like that would have been great. You know, and then the Clippers ended up getting Plumlee, and I was like, dang, that sucks. But hey, Lakers may end up being able to get him for free instead of trading for him. So that could be solid. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. So I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Would you like Plumlee? Do you think no? Is there somebody else? Again, if you have somebody better that you can get at the vet minimum, again, that's realistic. You're not getting Nikola Vucevic or Brook Lopez or whatever. You're not getting those guys at a vet minimum deal. You're just not. But you can get a Mason Plumlee very likely at a vet minimum deal. So I think you do that. If you can get them, do that. I wouldn't mind Drummond. I mean, there's arguments to be made for Mason Plumlee over Drummond even. But my main reason is just age. Right? Drummond's got you could sign Drummond to a 4-year deal and he would be Plumlee's age. So, that's a big difference. But anyway, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. However you feel, let me know down in the comments.